Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the TMG Podcast. My name is TJ Norris. I got my man Mitch Mullis.
Hey, how's it going?
And we got Johnson on camera this year.
Hey.
Wow. The biggest question of last year's podcast was, what does Johnson look like? And we got tired of, doing a Mr. Wilson back there from Home Improvement, so we got him a camera.
There he is.
I really should have brought a fence. A little fence like they use for a photo prop.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Keep it in front of my face. Should have done that for at least an episode or two.
Exactly.
I'd like to thank Mandy for allowing us to film here at 2nd and Main. Always a good time. Check her out down here in Lexington.
I always forget how beautiful this place is. It's really amazing. Downtown Lexington, great views of the city. I mean, you got lofts, you got pool tables, whatever you want. It's a really great spot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So let's talk about 2021. Today we're going to recap 2021. Exactly what went on, what we learned, what we need to do better in 2022, and kind of give you a recap of what the 2022 podcast looks like this year. So let's start with recapping 2021. Mr. Norris, how'd your 2021 go?
Fantastic.
Great.
Yeah. So 2021, a lot of changes for me. But, in real estate, again, life-changing.
Oh, yeah.
2021 was
Definitely.
great, and hopefully we continue 2022. Actually, let's make it a little bit better,
Yeah. We try to get better every day. That's one thing we preach. But anyway, so I've got some thoughts on 2021 and just kind of some things that I've learned. Maybe it's because I just had a birthday and turned 36.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mitchell.
It's crazy. There's two aspects to turning 36. Number one, it's always a blessing to grow old. My pastor actually says getting older, a lot of people don't want to get older. They don't want their birthdays to come around. Well, beats the alternative, right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
But definitely beats the alternative. But not only that, you start to look at things and it's like, man, where did the time go? It's like just yesterday I was beating you up and down the floor on the basketball court at East Davis.
Come on. I was throwing you alleys.
And dude, we're 36.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the world?
Speak for yourself. I'm not. Old guys.
What is he, like 12?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I swear Johnson's in his 20s.
He's got to be. But, as I look at things, I look at 2021, it got me to really appreciate things. And, a lot of people have a lot of value and hold a lot of value in certain things. But one thing I've come to learn and I've come to realize, life's not all about money. Life's all not about work. The number one thing in life that you got to make sure you're great at is the relationships you have in your life.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
That's what makes life fun and worth living, right?
Exactly.
Like you want to enjoy the things that you've been able to do by going and enjoying these things with family,
Exactly.
with your friends, with loved ones, basically.
Exactly. It's an old cliche, but I mean, I've never seen a hearse with a suitcase on the back,
I've never heard that. I didn't know it was an old
Really?
cliche. Yeah, no.
Isn't that in a country song?
Probably. If it ain't, it should be. But I mean, you think about that, and no matter what you do in life, what you leave is going to be the legacy you leave with your kids and with your family and what you did there. It doesn't matter exactly, how much money you make. Doesn't matter what you did with your life, except if you poured into those relationships that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess I don't know, in my mind, and I guess I wouldn't be here to see it, but the worst thing is nobody showing up to your funeral, right? Like, I mean, if you were such a bad person at life that nobody even shows up to your funeral.
Like Scrooge McDuck over here.
Golly.
Like, that.
I mean, you make a valid point, though.
Yeah. But I mean, think about that. Yeah. And then you think on the other side, what are they going to say about me at my funeral?
He was 12. He looked 12.
He's so young.
He was
never
76.
Yeah.
But I had a real good friend of mine pass away back in December, and you start thinking about these things, man. Relationships, because like we told the team a couple of weeks ago, guys, we've got an expiration date. You're not guaranteed to continue life. And what's your 20s look like? What's your 30s look like? What's your 40s going to look like? Your 50s, because you got to plan for that, because it starts today making that plan for your 50s, for your 60s, for your 70s. You can't wait around. So you got to make sure you really, really dive deep into those relationships and actually, nurture them.
Yeah.
It's a blessing too, though, right? Like you've got to be able, all of us are sitting here. Thankfully, we are financially stable. We don't have to worry. You know, we're not living paycheck to paycheck, things like that. You know, it's a blessing to be able to go and do things like that. So it's one of those things where if you're younger and you're listening to this, work hard now so you can enjoy life a little later, because it's not going to get easier. Your body's not going to get younger. You're not going to be able to work harder, longer hours the older you get. You're going to do less of that. You know, the biggest advice I could give to somebody that's, you know, in their 20s that's like, man, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. Yeah, okay, just take a deep breath and just put in the work. And before you know it, you know, the time's going to come, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And on that note right there, I've heard Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is a great motivational speaker. He does a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff. But he says this, you know, and I relate a lot to this. He says, I shouldn't be up here talking. Other people that helped him get to where he wanted to go should be up here. I shouldn't be on a podcast. I really shouldn't. And the thing is, and he says this, and I agree with him 100%, just like me, I'm not the best by far. But he says I'm a beast. And what he means by that is where he has today is because of hard work. Nobody outworked him. I kind of think that, you know, that's why we've got to where we've been with the team, with everything. You know, I remember working 90-hour weeks, breaking my back, you know, working hard, but I never let nobody outwork me, no matter what I did. So that's a good mantra. Hey, don't let nobody outwork you.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, our team, you know, just piggybacking off of that, our team, I mean, that's pretty much what we preach. Yeah. You know, you can make as little or as much money as you want to make on our team, but we have expectations. We reset our expectations. We actually have a young man on the team at the age of 23 doing really well. Yeah. If I could go back at 23 and do what I'm doing now, I mean,
be honest with you, I'd probably be dead.
That is true too.
But Evan's doing great. Evan's 20 deals in 3 months,
something like that.
Wow,
it's crazy. Yeah, that he's come on 23 years old, spent a lot of money in college, and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to real estate school instead."
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing. Pay for school, and I'm not even using my degree.
Yeah, hey, stay in school. But speaking of the team and, you know, everything, 2021, I also learned that a lot of people just don't fit your culture. We hit 283 units, and, you know, we lost some people along the way. And I told the team this last week, matter of fact, maybe 2 weeks ago, but it's the people who want on the team that want to get to the next level. It's the people I want to put in my life that want to get to the next level. And, Johnson, the cool thing about this next level is if you can see it, it's a glass ceiling. Right? So you got to bust through that glass ceiling. Well, to do that, it's going to hurt. You're going to get cut, you're going to bleed, and you're probably going to lose some people. So we got to that next level, but we also went through some glass ceilings and we lost some people along the way.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, I look at it kind of the same way you do. I just look at it a little differently. It's evolving, right? Like I always want to evolve, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to have the same things and the same people, and I'm going to be doing the same thing the same way I've been doing it, right? Like you always want to learn to improve, and just learn to evolve with what your situation is so that you can benefit the most from it. And sometimes that means purging some people from your life. Sometimes that means that, you know, it's not a bad thing. You know, people think that if somebody comes in and out of your business working relationship, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you've done what you need to do for them, and then, you know, they've done what they need to do for you, and it's been a learning experience all the way around, that's not a bad experience. So
that's true.
It's always about evolving and making sure that you're not staying stagnant. And you know,
and I think
Mitch, you preach a lot about goals. Sorry, TJ, but Mitch, you preach a lot about like goals, and having a goal without a plan is a dream.
Exactly
right. So like each year, or, you know, if you want to look at it like a yearly thing, in January, you come up with new goals. You know, you come up with a plan. Well, that plan doesn't fit the same thing as last year.
No.
You know what I mean? So you got to always evolve.
Yeah, and I think what you're trying to say is, and I've learned this my whole life, you are who you surround yourself with. Yep. So if you're surrounding yourself with negative people who don't really want to get to that next level, well, you're probably going to stay exactly where you're at.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say a second ago. It's not just, you know, your work life; it's your personal life too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So surrounding yourself with people with similar goals. You know, I've got friends that are now distant because they don't share, you know, the same goals and aspirations as myself.
Exactly.
You know,
happens. I got friends that were just bad people that I'm not friends with anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, let's call it what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, 2022 is going to be a great year.
Yeah.
I hope.
Did you reach goals you wanted to in 2021? Like looking back on it now, right? Like you always want to be in a better position or a different position than you're currently in, right?
Yeah,
but if Mitchell Mullis, if this was a year ago and we were to say, this is what you're going to do this year, would you feel like you hit goals? You feel like you're happy?
Well, do you mean professionally or personally?
Well, let's start with professionally.
Professionally, if you would have told me that we were going to sell 283 houses in our 4th year in existence, I would have been, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Especially with how last year started.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we have like 16 deals in 2 months?
No, it was like 26.
Oh, it felt like 16.
And we closed that in January.
Yeah. You know, so we're already at 57% ahead of this year where we were last year. Yeah. And coming off COVID and everything, I mean, that kind of blowed my mind.
Yeah.
That we were able to do that many and work that hard, and we did it with a limited number of agents. I think we had, 5 full-time agents all year?
Yeah, and, me transitioned to a new
position, yeah. And
kind of took me out of the field.
Yeah, so, I mean, we did 283 units with really 4 full-time agents. And we're competing against, teams of 20 and 25.
Yeah.
And going neck and neck with them, but –
yeah, and literally competing with them. It's not like, it's like, oh, well, they're doing this and we're doing that. You guys are neck and neck with them and sometimes beating them.
We were number one at one point, and, Ginther Group Winston, they overtook us, but, I mean, they've got 25 agents.
Yeah,
but they do a great job. Yeah, they do a great job up there, though. But that's all we're trying to do. I can tell you this. When I look at success, I judge it by this. Am I better today than I was yesterday? And I think we are. So I think that's a success, and I hit my goals. I'm a big goal setter, but I'm more of a visionary. Because, I struggle with little things like setting this goal and getting here. I just create a vision and just try to get to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So creating a big enough vision for everybody and, trying to make sure that me and my family are getting better every day.
And that's probably, honestly, at least for me, a better idea, too, is a vision, right? Because if you have an idea and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to get to it, there's all kinds of things you haven't accounted for because you've not gotten to that point yet. You don't know what to expect. There's speed bumps. There's things that are going to be harder or more in-depth than you think they're going to be. And, that's kind of part of it, too, is just figuring it out. The journey itself, you learn so much from it that you can, if you put that information to use, you gain every year what you're able to do.
Exactly. Yeah. The process. There's something about the process, and we even talk about, and this may be an episode, where we live in the dash. It's, when somebody dies, they lay it on the tombstone, I was born in 1958, died in 2010. Well, that says a lot about a person, but that dash tells the most about it. That's the journey. That's where you did what you did and you left your mark, was that dash. So,
what about you, TJ? 2021, you mentioned that you changed positions. You're now director of operations for TMG Home Solutions.
Yes, sir.
Did you hit professional goals you wanted to?
I got to be honest, man. Real estate wise, absolutely. Sorry, you're right there. I'll look at the camera. Nah, I did.
I keep looking at Johnson. Is that bad?
No, it's all good. I keep doing it too. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But going back to real estate, yes. Director of ops, I'm still learning. I'm hit some growing pains, But the biggest thing is we have a goal of expanding, and we have a goal, So we're on the same page. I think we're working well together, and to grow this thing. So I would say yes. 2021 ended up being, a success for me personally. Trying to get better as well. But when it comes to TMG, I think we're going to do a lot of good things in 2022.
You know what I really liked about 2021? We went from almost being like just a robotic company or robotic to, having fun, enjoying who you're working with.
Yeah.
And the whole workplace atmosphere. And we talk about, losing people here, losing people there. Well, the good thing about that, it's addition by subtraction. Once you get negative people out of the room, it elevates everybody else.
Yeah.
And I would say that our office is it's probably the best it's ever been. I think we've got more talent than I've ever had on our team. I mean, we are loaded top to bottom with great agents, part-time agents to full-time agents. Everybody's great.
And part of it, too, is that, your job allows you, and allows me as well, my job's kind of the same way, a little different, but, it's fluid.
Yeah.
There's things that you need to do when you structure your day to do it a certain way and things like that. But the realities of it are is if TJ has a good idea and he's talking to Evan about it, right, and giving him some information, young guy, learning, if he's in the middle of making calls, he can maybe stop for 10 or 15 minutes of making those calls in order to then soak up that information from TJ, right? So it's not a rigid thing like if you were a school teacher or if you worked in a medical office and you had exam after exam.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have that ability to be malleable. And,
Flexibility.
Yeah. And
Did he say malleable?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Was that?
Let's just stick with flexible.
Yeah, let's go with flexible.
Okay, flexible. So flexible.
Wow. That really blew my mind for the day.
But that helps with mindset, I feel like,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
every now and then when you need that break, it's not like, oh, crap, I've got this to do. I've got to do this right this second. No, you can go for a second and do this to regather your, inspiration, if that might be what you need.
What I think of is Mitch walking in saying, let's meet.
I do it every day.
Right,
TJ's
guys.
met within 15 minutes. I walk in. Let's have a quick meet.
Yeah.
Anytime I
just
get a
thought
good
so.
idea,
Yeah.
I like to go share it.
Surprise.
Surprise.
But, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And that keeps the work environment much
Yeah.
more positive. It really does. That's something I'm super thankful for with my job.
Yeah. And it creates an attitude of gratitude. And if you've got that in your life, you'll be in good shape. Attitude of gratitude.
I like that. I'm writing it down.
Attitude of gratitude. It's kind of like this. I told the team this one time. Johnson, if I could give you $5 million today, buddy, would you take it?
Is there an or?
I'm just asking. Would you take the $5 million? Of course you would, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it'd help out. What would it do? What would $5 million do for you?
Well, it'd make my cryptocurrency account look crazy awesome right now, especially since it's so far down.
I know, mine
maybe
too.
when it comes back up, I'll be, like
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
about
so
that,
you can pay off your debts to make you financially comfortable, right? Well, let's take that same question. Johnson, I'm going to give you $5 million, but you can't wake up in the morning.
Oh, no, I want to wake up in the morning.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why? So what you're essentially telling me is your days.
I have the opportunity to make $5 million over the next God knows how many years in how many ways, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, I ain't got any opportunity.
So what
to do
you're
that.
actually saying is your days are more important than $5 million. So make the best out of them and really maximize your usage out of your day. Yeah. Hey, did you guys hear the one about the roof?
What roof?
Nothing. It's over your head. Had to get my joke in for the
We needed that.
day.
It's pretty heavy. In here,
Lord,
man.
I mean,
We've talked a lot about death today. Welcome to the TMG Podcast.
well, I mean, I think if you look at it, man, you will have that attitude of gratitude and realize you do have an expiration date and that you got to make the most of your life, live.
Well, and unfortunately, if you've never experienced loss, you're very lucky. But there's a certain motivation that comes along with it, right? Like you feel inspired in the sense of almost like you wake up the next day like, oh my God, I got to wake up, that person didn't.
Exactly.
And you lose that when you deal with the day-to-day grinds of stresses and kids and just life. But in general, like you said, Mitch, that was a good analogy. I'd wake up tomorrow for $5 million any day.
Yeah, and it's just like this. I mean, shoot, half the people who went to high school, I mean, there's a lot of them that's not even here anymore. Yeah. They're dead. And, they've passed away, and you got some that's locked up. Man, just by God's grace, we didn't go that route. It goes back to we ain't the best, but hey, ain't nobody going to outwork us, you know?
Well, since we know you guys aren't going to be in prison for 2022, what is the goal for 2022?
Well, the goal, number-wise?
Sure.
Let's start with numbers.
We're going to try to hit 385 this year.
Holy moly, Batman.
Yep, but
100 more.
100 more. But we're going to do that with a couple locations extra too.
Yeah.
Evolving.
Man, I tell you what, I can see the team just start evolving into something. It's almost, and it's crazy. We had a career night the other night. And man, you wouldn't believe the people that showed up to this thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be me and TJ eating chips and salsa the whole time.
Yeah, one of them's on the team. I got him signed
Already
up
on the team.
in 5 days.
Yeah.
Nice.
And everybody, I mean, it's just exciting. When you have stuff like that and people show up, you can see something. We've got the ball rolling. And we really want to take this thing to the next level and really be successful and, help everybody along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Biggest thing, we started TMG Cares last year too. I don't know if we talked about that.
I don't know.
I don't think we did
I don't
either.
know that we have, but that's
podcast
definitely
with
something
that,
we need to.
Yeah, so TMG Cares is something very special to our hearts, and our communities help us, helped us out in a big way, giving us business and helping out everywhere. We wanted to give back, so we've did a couple things. We went to the nursing home, did some things. We fed a couple police departments.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we did some stuff in December that we didn't want anybody to know about. We're doing trash pickup this month.
Let's not forget about the trunk or treat. That was an absolute smash.
Madhouse.
Like, it was awesome.
When I tell you the police showed up wanting to know if they needed to shut the road down, I said, probably. Yeah. I'm out there in the middle trying to direct traffic.
I've got to be honest. I did not think that was going to happen. But you had kids crossing the road, parents letting them. Which is
when
okay.
It's a group of 30 kids,
that's true.
No person in a car is going to hit 30 kids. Like, they're going to stop.
There was over 1,000 people that come through that parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt it. It wouldn't surprise me if it was 1,500. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Meanwhile, I'm running back and forth trying to get more candy.
See, and that's one of those things too, where like hard work pays off, right? Because none of us knew what that was going to be. I had done some photo and video stuff for it. We had promoted it through social media. TJ had been sending out emails. Mitch had been telling people. He had a sign made and put out, but it wasn't like nobody RSVP'd.
That. No.
We didn't have any idea that was what it was going to be.
No.
And that's a very good example of putting in hard work always pays off. You might not get the recognition instantly. You might not get the payoff instantly. But if you put in the hard work and do all the steps that you need to do, it will pay off.
And, that's something I learned also is a lot of people, they put a lot of value in what they've done. At the end of the day, I can tell you this. It's not going to be what I've done. It's going to be, what kind of legacy we live. What kind of legacy we leave. And TMG Cares is kind of my thing where, man, I'd rather push that than me selling a house because community means that much to me. And I want to help out our communities. I want to help out old basketball programs. I want to help out schools. Yeah. We're probably going to start a couple scholarships this year in a couple schools. And that's really what I want to do now. It's just
be a positive in the community
and help out and help people because people help me,
Yeah. And, you've pulled yourself pretty much out of production.
Yep, I have.
To allow yourself time to, get further into the community.
Exactly.
And, the scholarship thing, I'm pretty excited about that. Helping out other schools.
Yeah. I think we need to go back and find a way to help out East Davidson basketball.
We're going to do it.
That's where we're from. That's what we want to do. So whether it be fundraiser, if I need to come hoop up on some kids, you know what I'm saying? I'll come right out of retirement.
Get the band back together.
He went to helping people to dunk it on 17-year-olds.
Yep.
That can help, though.
Running Mullis. Oh, remember that?
Well, we called it Wallace back then. I think after I graduated, it was Mullis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But anyway, let's give you a preview of 2022. And we'll get out of your hair, I guess. 2022, we're going to talk a lot about mindset, how we're going to break through this glass ceilings, and I'm really excited. We have a team meeting every Tuesday, and we have motivation. We're going to try to bring it to you guys and motivate you and help you get to the next level, as well as tracking our journey and seeing how we get there and seeing if we make it, if we don't make it. But
we're going to make it.
I promise you. Ain't nobody going to outwork us trying to do it.
Everybody should be on the lookout for TMG Cares in the future. Look out for events that we're going to do within the community, something you might want to come and be part of. Mm-hmm. And if you're a local business owner and you want to be part and help sponsor us do some of these things, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Give us some ideas, something like that. We're always looking for ideas.
Hey, good to be back.
Awesome.
I appreciate y'all.
Yep.
And thank you for joining TMG Podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you. Thanks. Looking forward to it.